Hello, guys. So, our special guest today was on a bit of a losing streak, but then he has started showing the dominance once again, which he was known for. Welcome, Matt Mask, for to the Arm Wrestling Buzz Show for the first time and to Arm Wrestling News for the second time. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. Tired, but I'm good.
Thanks for being here. And Paul Italia, the founder, the CEO of Arm Wrestling Buzz. How are you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great, brother. Thank you for taking over this show. I really appreciate it, bro. And I encourage all your subscribers get over to my channel. And normally we do it on my channel every week, the Arm Wrestling Buzz at 9:30 Eastern time. So we'd love to have all your subscribers come and join us and have a lot of good times and laughs together.
And welcome, Israel, for the first time on Arm Wrestling News.
How's it going, Pradeep? Thanks for having me, brother.
And
Yeah,
just let
now
everybody know, Israel is now part of the Arm Wrestling Buzz crew. He's officially in. He will be here every week and all. So I just want to welcome Israel and thank you for being part of us, bro.
I
Thank
remember
you, Paul.
back.
Thank you for adding me up.
I remember Matt when you were on Engage channel a few days ago, and you were saying my bad when you messed up some names. Like you were saying, I only had a couple of hours sleep. I was like, yeah. And now I'm feeling it. I slept at like 4 a.m., woke up at 6:30, and I don't even know what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I've been up since yesterday at like 9 p.m. So
Yeah. So Matt, you obviously won your match in a very dominating way. The Ron Bath match at King of the Table. What were your expectations going into the match? I know it was a very long time since you faced Ron, so you could have gotten better in that time, and Ron could have gotten worse because of his age. What were your thoughts? Was
uh,
Ron
I don't
feeling?
know. I don't know how much age has really played much of a factor in Ron's success. Like Ron's been on top of the game for how fucking long, right? Like it's no matter
Yeah.
how old the guy is, the dude's almost like fucking the fountain of youth, right? So
Yeah.
it's not like he looks any older than he ever looked before, besides a little more gray hair. The dude's had the leather face ever since I fucking known him, right? So, he's not somebody that you're going to be going into a match thinking, oh, he's a couple of years older now. I'm going to be able to squeak an easy one on him. I personally don't think that Ron Bath that I pulled is the Ron Bath I pulled in the past, or the Ron Bath that would probably show up to a match probably tomorrow. I'm thinking maybe jet lag, maybe missing his partner. A few things might have had a little bit to play into that. So for me, going, oh, I dominated Ron. I'm right in there. I don't even consider that win fucking one. I'm on my way back to the winning streak again, because it's, in my eyes, that wasn't the Ron Bath I've seen before in the past, and Ron Bath I know that's capable of coming to the table. So for me, I'm still trying to work on getting them wins.
Yeah, usually I've seen that winners are always remembered more than the person who lost the match, but sometimes it's not the case. Some legendary matches like the Dave versus Vitali match, and then after that, your match against Sergey Kalinchenko when he visited Canada for the fight night. That was an absolute amazing battle, and I think nobody thinks that you lost that match. You were everyone's favorite when you started coming back from the fourth round. So I think that match was much more better in a sense for your career after your losing streak than this Ron Bath match. Would you agree with that?
I would say, yeah, more so even for myself, just to see if I actually was capable of banging on them. Maybe, had I adjusted a few more things in the earlier rounds, it might have been a little different sooner on. But yeah, I give, it was more peace of mind for me that, okay, there's just minor little adjustments. These motherfuckers aren't 2, 3 fucking levels ahead of me. I'm right fucking there with them. It's just a matter of that fine little tweak, right? So.
Yeah.
Pradeep,
And
I also
Paul.
wanted to ask Matt about the Ron Bath match. And, I seen on, I think it was on Facebook that you posted that you got sick on the way there and you had to do an IV and all that. Can you kind of tell us about that? Like, what day did you get in, and did jet lag really play a role in that? And did you get sick
That
on the
was
way there?
that all happened on what date was that? The 12th?
I think it
Did we
was a
do that?
Saturday.
23rd?
Yeah.
Saturday, I think I got in like the Wednesday, I believe it was. And it wasn't bad, just the recycled air, everything on the airplane. I ended up getting like nasal congestion, and then the fucking heat. You walk outside and it's fucking 52 fucking degrees outside. Just the head was just pounding, right? So it was, I don't know if it was sinus cold infection, whatever. I was still a little plugged up even after about a week or so after I got back, but I ended up calling the Dawn, messaged up the Dawn, because I remember seeing in the past, Levon was hooked up to IV, Devon was hooked up to IV, just being sick from there before. So I was like, hey, can you get me some of that happy juice, right? Like, what's in that shit? So he sent me a list, and it was just pretty much a shit ton of vitamin C and all your vitamin B complexes and everything else, just to give your body all the nutrients and everything it needs to kind of fight off whatever it has and give you the energy. So yeah, they pretty much phone call within 2 hours later, they were up at my room and poking me with holes and sticking me with happy juice. And yeah, it was literally within an hour, 45 minutes after I got it, I was feeling pretty much on top of the world. Like, I still felt like my nose was a little runny, but it wasn't like completely out of hand. So a little more tolerable for at least the next couple of days. So
That's amazing, man. At King of Table, they are thinking way ahead. They are prepared for every kind of situation. That's an official organization.
It has
That's right there.
By in general, I think anything you want there, as long as it's not mental stimulating, anything that's for the body, like, you just put in a request and it's just a matter of 1 or 2 phone calls and that shit's sitting at your door, right? So
Love it. Matt, I got to ask you, is that something that could help you with if you had to do a weight cut or something, and putting the size back on? Do you think that IV with the vitamins and all that would help in a way?
I don't see why it wouldn't, right? Because your body, usually if you're cutting, you're depleting your body of all its energy and nutrients and vitamins that you should be getting over the last couple of days, right? And it's just a matter of pretty much rejuvenating and putting your body back to the maximum levels of what it's capable of using, right? So absolutely, I think it may not give you all the water retention and everything back, but it's gonna make you feel like you're not depleted from not eating for the last 2 days. You get that fog and that grogginess going on a day or two after not eating or fasting for a while, right? So, but
Does anybody know if the average Joe can get that? Like, can we just go to like somewhere over the counter and get somewhere like that?
that's the thing, right? You maybe in the States it's a little more easy. You might be able to get it, but somewhere in Canada like this, like, that shit's all regulated, right? Like, you're not able to get it unless it's prescribed by a doctor, even though it's just your vitamins and your minerals. But be able to get an IV, it's got to be administered by a doctor, prescribed or whatnot. So it's, that's one of the wonderful things about being able to fly to different parts of the world, right? Is just the different kinds of healthcare. Like, you think, you hear so many people say, "Oh, Canada healthcare is so awesome. It's so awesome." It's like, yeah, it's awesome if you ain't want to fucking pay for it and you fucking don't give a shit about the quality, because it's free, right? And when have you ever gotten anything free that's been absolutely fucking top notch, right? You're getting what you're paid for, right? The same thing, if you go down to the States, you can walk into one hospital, they'll fix your leg for $500 and you got a broken leg. You go to another one, it's $1,500, but chances are the one that you paid $1,500 for, you're going to get your leg fixed, it's going to be fixed, right? So it's, places like Dubai, there's medication. You go to Mexico, a place like that, there's treatments you can get for different diseases where they'll stroke them a little check and they're willing to put that shit in you, right? Here, it's like jumping through leaps and bounds. You even mention it, they're like, "Oh, what are you talking about that shit for?" Right? So I think that's a topic for a different kind of podcast, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yes, I do. And speaking of that, I was just on the phone from Vitus Cell Biologics right before we got on podcast, and he asked who was going to be on my guest, and I said Matt Mask, and he's like, "Oh man, you got to tell Matt I'm looking forward to meeting him in person. He wants to go play some craps with you or whatever." So maybe make it over to Vegas.
Fucking tear up that crap stable in Vegas. So
oh man, so shout out to Vitus Cell. We know they got a big thing coming up. It's Vitus Cell Illuminati 2.0, and it's going down in Vegas January 5th through the 7th. We got the who's who of arm wrestling going to be there. Matt Massey is going to be there. We just found out. We got Devon Lorette, Sarah Bachman, John Berzink, Travis Bajent, Jerry Cataret, and maybe we might get to see Jerry and Devon go at it. I know they were going back and forth with each other. So definitely check that out. We're going to be doing a raffle on this channel, on Arm Wrestling Buzz show, and give some people a chance to win, to come hang out and get some stem cell treatment. So shout out to Vitus Cell.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you back the mic, Pradeep. I'm sorry to take over, bro.
Nah, it's your show, Paul. It's your show. So you should come to India. There is not a medication that you cannot get without any prescription. You can get everything over the counter here in India. Basically everything.
Oh,
That's cool.
bro. Group trip, huh?
That's cool.
Let's go.
So there was a friend, not an arm wrestler, so I won't take the name. He was like, man, I need some testosterone enanthinate or cypionate or whatever it was. I don't think cypionate is available in India. And one of the online pharmacies, like fully regulated thing, you call them up and you say, I got my testosterone checked and it was like low. He won't even ask for the report, and he'll ask you that, and that's a doctor there for free, no charges at all, and he'll write you whatever prescription you want. And these are the official prescribed ways, and you
I don't
can
even know what you're
get
talking
stuff.
about, Pradeep. What you're talking a foreign language to me, right? Are you like the juice guy or something for the arm wrestling world?
I'm trying to take care of you, Paul. So so
I'm
Israel,
kidding.
what were your thoughts about Matt's matches when he was going against Sergey Kalinchenko and Ron Bath? What were you expecting?
You know, I was recently watching the match against Sergey, and I kind of expected it to go that way. I really thought that, Sergey would be really strong those first few matches, and then eventually Matt was going to take that hand, and that's exactly what happened. Matt's hand dominance is pretty crazy, and it turned into a war, and it was really good to watch. His match versus Ron, that also I expected Matt to win. I got the pleasure of pulling Ron a few years back at an event in Hawthorne, Nevada. And man, that guy is still, like he was saying, just rock strong. He's like a Greek god, that guy. He's just doesn't age. And yeah, it was impressive. Matt is just, I think he's on that climb again to just crush all these guys.
Matt, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about training. So both of the questions are combined. First, did you change anything in the past 1 year in your training? And what would you change if you were living in a country where arm wrestling paid way more than your job? How would you change your training then?
Yeah, well, I would first. I'll answer your second question first. I probably wouldn't do my job, and I would concentrate on arm wrestling full time and get a full 8 to 12 hours of sleep a night, and eat fucking heaps and heaps of fucking meat and fucking rice. But unfortunately, arm wrestling for me doesn't pay as well as it is for others, so I still need my day job. And I'm really good at my fucking day job, and my day job pays really fucking good and gives me opportunity and my family opportunity to excel in other areas of my life. So, even if it was to pay better, would I quit my day job? Even though, with how busy I am with work and everything else I have on the go, I feel like I'm still capable of banging with these guys. What huge benefit would I get out of it, right? So if I'm still there, I'm still at the top level, why quit my day job when I can just double my salary, right?
I
So,
basically wanted to ask you if you would increase the hours of training that you're putting in every day if you had more time.
oh, absolutely, I would. If I had more time, of course, I'm going to spend more time doing something I love, right? So that'd be just a given. So,
Yeah.
but
Matt, how
I
much
say,
sorry.
go ahead.
Matt, how much table time do you get is it weekly or bi-weekly?
It depends on how busy I am with work and just how the days fall off. Like if I'm in between jobs and we don't have something on the go with the family and I'm able to host a practice that night, then I'll host a practice. If not, it's usually I'll get at least once a week table time. I shoot for 2 to 3 days table time a week, but 2 is usually about the average. So.
And how much gym time are you able to do with your work and all that?
While I'm working, I'm not really doing half as much gym time as I would as if, like, say it's breakup or something like that, and we're not able to move the rigs and it's a lot slower for me. I'll bring, like, every single day I'm not on the table, I'll do my weights, right? So, but as for my work, it's like I don't really have that time. Sometimes I'm up for long hours. I'll bring like a couple little dumbbells. I'll bring my karate belt with my weights and shit hanging on me that I'll work in between. If I'm feeling like I've gotten enough rest and I'm recovering enough, then I will push myself a bit more while I'm out working. But sometimes, you're going from one job to another, and the tools that we're grabbing, we're moving around. They're anywhere from 80 to 120, 130 pounds. You're just constantly picking them up and putting them down. So I'll just pick them up in angles and put them down in angles. Whereas if I was to be hanging on to an arm, right? So, and if I need a little more, then I'll just hit my weights a bit, right? So, but it's not so much. It's nice. I would love to be able to work out every single day, but to work out every single day, beat the shit out of my arms, and then not get the amount of sleep that I need to recover and doing all the work, I honestly believe I would just end up setting myself back more than if I was to just concentrate more on my table time and work on being recovered and trying to get enough sleep and nutrients and everything else to bring myself up to a, you know, somewhat healed level so I can rip the shit out of it again on the table, right? So for me, table time is 100% key. So
because it sounds like your work, man, is you're getting more of a workout than anybody is in the gym anyway. So, you know, your hands got to be steel from picking up all those tools and just working all the time.
Well, yeah, you're grabbing them, constantly putting them in, just screwing them in. Like it's always, everything's, nothing that I'm grabbing onto is 1 inch or 2 inch. Everything is 4.5 inch, 5 inch, 6 inch, right? So it's, you're constantly using your hands, right? So
and that's why I'm putting up this picture. We got the Armbat playing cards, and we got your picture there, and it's your hand, Matt Massey's hand over here. So if you haven't already, get over to Armbat and get yourself a deck of the playing cards, and really cool, man. Definitely support Devon out with that.
yeah.
You know, Paul, why I asked this question? Because Devon was on your show a few days ago. I watched that, and he was like, I start training when I wake up, and my training ends when I go to bed. In between that, I'm taking small breaks. And then I was like, it is kind of unfair to compare an athlete who has that level of commitment with someone who has a full-time job. It's totally different thing, man. I'm not sure if what Devon is doing is overtraining or not, but certainly it is better than a full-time job guy.
Devon's ability to train, the amount that he has, like I've never met a single fucking person that can do one consistent thing as much as that man can. Like you won't find any single person that's pulled in a fucking super match and then 2 days later is standing on the street pulling with 30, 40 fucking people for 5-6 hours straight. And then the next day he'll do it again. And the next day he'll do it again. Like there's something off and different about him. And I'm a firm believer that he's one of them anomalies that literally produces minimal to zero fucking lactic acid. And we all know the more you're working out, the more strain you're doing, you create that lactic acid. That's how you get the exhaustion, the wear and tear, and then you need to recover and everything from there in order for your muscles to heal properly, be able to keep going. I think he's one of the people that literally produces like a minor fraction of what the average human person does. That's why he hits about that 70%, and then he'll just plateau and stay there for the next 14 hours as long as there's enough food in his belly to keep himself moving, right? So
I had a question for you, Matt. I seen over in Dubai when you were going against Ron Bath, I seen there was like an after poll. I don't know if it was after or before your match, but you kind of gripped up with Lachlan Adair. And I kind of just want to hear about that. And is there anything, you know, is there ever a chance that we could see a match between you two going at? And what did you feel when you gripped up with him?
that was just for shits and giggles. I think just before, I think I was even left hand. I don't even think we grabbed onto each other with the right hand. But I know that's a match he's wanted to see for a while. Whether it's going to happen anytime in the next 6 months to a year, I'm not really sure, especially I think after his loss to Krasi, it may have pushed him a little further away from getting matched with me just because of the way I handled Krasi the year before. But I don't know. We'll see. Like it's something that's been in the talks. It's been in the works. We've discussed it a few times, but just nothing has ever really fallen into place right now. So, but yeah, and I'd be willing to pull him. I'd be willing to pull anybody really. So.
What did you feel? I know it was only left arm or whatever, but did you take anything from that?
I felt that I would be sending him back to fucking Australia. A very sad boy is what I felt. Hey.
And Matt, you do have a left-handed match against Wagner, or am I mistaken?
That's right hand.
Okay, that's right-handed.
Yeah.
Right-handed match.
Right hand.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently his nerve damage or whatever he had going on with his wrist and his right hand is is healed or feeling better or not bothering him as much, and he wants to get back on the table with the right hand match. So Engen called me up one day and just asked, like, hey, what do you feel about pulling Wagner? And I said, well, it's a match everybody's kind of wanted to see for the last 4 or 5 years. So I says, it's not really what I'm shooting for, my goal. I'm kind of trying to stay into that 253-pound class and kind of work my way back up into there. But, you know, it's a match everybody's wanted to see for so long. So I told him, I said, let's give the fucking people what they want, right? So.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you something.
When is that match
Yeah,
locked
please.
in for?
Yeah, go ahead, Israel.
Sorry, Israel.
Okay, it's fine. I just wanted to ask him if there was any particular match that you would want to, you know, run back and have a rematch with. Is there any one like competitor that you feel like if you could go back and do it again, you could secure the win?
There's a few of them. I want that San Luis match back. I definitely want to
I
pull
was thinking about that one.
again. There's
Okay.
you know, I think after, if I was to go back against them and be successful, I definitely want to pull Prednik again, right? So there's everybody I've lost to. Right now, my main focus, like I said, is that 253-pound class. So we'll see how she goes against Frankie in the next month. And then after that, I pretty much want to know who's next above me in that 253-pound class. And I want to start going one after another until I hit a wall, then go back to the training board and then start pegging away again. So
sounds good.
And Matt, can you cut down to 105 kilo class as well? Do you think that class can maybe be better for you? Because in 115, the long levers that you have, it will still give you some advantage. But when you go against guys who are 105 kilos, I think you can be a stylistic and a person who is structurally built different to deal with those guys. I think that can be more advantageous to you in that class.
I probably could make 105, but I really don't fucking want to. Like it's probably easier for me to be a heavy 105 than it would for me to be a heavy 253 pound or 115 kilo, whatever it is, just because if I just cut out eating for a couple of days and fucking got the metabolism of a fucking hummingbird and I'll shed weight like there's no fucking tomorrow. But I just feel healthier. I feel stronger. I feel more rounded right around that 245 to 250 mark. And when I do the odd time, hit myself up to 250, high 250s, I just feel that much more accomplished and that much stronger. So I don't know, I just want to go more where I feel healthy. I don't want to feel so like a rake fucking walking around, right? So
yeah. Because
Pradeep, who were you thinking in the 105 class that you would like to see him? Like, is that like Ongabayev's class and all?
I think, Paul, it's not even about who I would like to see Matt go against, because right now everyone is in that class. That's the more famous class. And if we talk about the 253 or 115 kg class, there is nobody there. Prudnik is cutting down now. I think Sandris is also cutting weight, and Dadikian is also cutting weight. So
they
that
all
class is
scared of Devon or what?
not sure. Matt, can you name like 4 pullers in that class? Like that class is basically empty. Nobody's competing there.
Well, I would say I would think you're going to start seeing a lot more super heavyweights cutting down to the 253-pound class, and then you're going to see guys from the 253-pound class cutting down to the 105 or whatever, or the 230, whatever the fuck that class is. But it's because really you got Kelishenko. He was a 270-pound man, 260. He wants to be in 253 now. Georgie, I wouldn't be surprised. Like he walks around at what, 265, 270. He's banging with fucking, you know, like you're only going to get so high in there. Then you got to start pulling fucking monsters that are 350, 400 pounds. It's different. So a lot of them guys don't really have the frames for that super heavyweight. So I would think a lot of the guys that are doing good in that super heavyweight pound class, but probably don't have a chance in the top 4 or 5, you're going to start seeing cutting down to 253, right? So I think the 253-pound class is going to start getting flooded with a lot more talent, right?
Yeah.
I could see that. Who's some guys that we think that could be potential guys to make that cut down? Because I know we discussed in the past, like maybe like Dave Chafee could possibly think something like that. Who do you think in for Dave?
Well, Dave was only like 265, right? When he pulled the last time he pulled, like,
Yep.
and he was eating cheeseburgers, walking up the scale. For him to lose 12 pounds, that's fucking nothing,
Easy.
right?
Exactly,
Like, that's an
bro.
easy water cut. I don't know if Dave has ever done or tried to do a water cut in his life, but something like that would be an easy cut, right? So,
I
you know,
agree with that.
I think basically anyone and everyone who is kind of below 300 pounds, and I think that person can make a cut to 253 if they ever wanted to, or if the prize money was high enough or higher than the super heavyweight match that they are getting. I think most of them, almost all of them, can cut that weight. Dave wasn't 265, Matt. I think in clothes and everything, he was 280 or 281, shoes and everything. So maybe 274, 275, something like that. But I think it's possible for him to make that cut. But he did say that he has never cut weight or something like that, or at least in the past one decade. So he wasn't very keen on doing that.
I think it's fair to say like 275 and down, you could do it. You said 300. That's starting to get extreme when you start getting close to that 300
But
number to
Paul,
get down that foot much.
Gasperini was almost 300, and you can see how much he's pushing his body.
But
Would you say
that's,
that he,
bro,
he, he cannot cut to 115 if he wanted to?
he should be in there, man. He's going the opposite way. He's trying to max out to go up to those super heavies and to contend with them,
So,
man.
so Paul, where are the shredded 300-pound guys, anyways? I think Artem Morozov, one you can think of. All of them are kind of carrying some fat who are around the 300-pound range.
But I don't think there's enough money on this earth that these dudes are gonna go and make that big of a cut, bro. That's like 40-some pounds, man. That's kind of extreme for these guys with full-time jobs and all that too, bro. I'm just thinking of like telling Jerry. I know Jerry's not into talk. He's a little bigger. He's like 320s, but telling Jerry he's got to get down to 250. Yeah, right, bro. That would be a joke.
Yeah, for Jerry, it's not possible. And Matt, I wanted to ask you about one thing. I've not heard your point of view on that topic, but Michael Todd has brought up this point multiple times on his channel. He used to say that there was talks of you versus him at WL, I think the 500 series, and that match was shut down basically because people started thinking that Michael is going to be a very tough challenge for you. So, how much truth is behind that statement?
oh, I honestly, I didn't deserve a shot against him. If you ask me, I fucking didn't deserve a shot. And if we were going to pull, it wasn't going to be for a world title match. So why would we be pulling in the first place? And honestly, I was in no position in any way. I can be the first to tell you that I want to deserve a shot against him because Devon ended up pulling Todd Hutchings, ended up beating Todd Hutchings. Then I pulled Hutchings. And after my match with Hutchings, I was supposed to be pulling Michael Todd. And then I lose to Todd Hutchings. Why, in the right mind, besides just for an entertainment aspect of it, should I even deserve a shot against Michael Todd? And then how much would that have fucked everything up when he's the super heavyweight champ? And then you got somebody that just lost to an old heavyweight. You know what I mean? And now I'm going to end up, say if I pulled him and miraculously ended up beating him, what would that have done to everything, right? So it wasn't, I was in no position. And as soon as they said, I'm like, are you sure you guys still want me to pull him? Like, I don't really fucking deserve this match. You know, I says, I'd love to fucking pull him, but it ain't, you know, like after my last performance, I shouldn't deserve a shot. It should be somebody else, right?
Yeah.
So
That
I want to
was
ask Matt about his opinion on the big match going on between Ongabayev and Todzilla. You know, what's your thoughts on that? Who's going to get the win?
oh man, fucking Todd, doesn't he look fucking retarded right now? Like,
Yeah, for real.
like he's
So strong.
And the thing is, he like it looks like he only pulls really in one angle, but he's mastered his technique so well that he can work on keeping the angle that he needs to be able to maintain his power, right? So it's it's hard to fucking bet against Todd, but then you look at fucking Ongabayev, like the son of a bitch is creating moves mid matches. You know what I mean? Like we've got a new move now that we call in our clubhouse the Ongabayev, right? Your wrist starts to go, you pop forward, next thing you know, you're on top of it. Like that's the Ongabayev, right? Before that was, what did you even call that, right? It was not even possible. You know what I mean? All of a sudden he's pulling shit out of his fucking arse. The dude's a fucking ninja on the table, right? Like he's like an 18th fucking degree black belt when it comes to fucking his ability to build technical and fucking transition from one move to another on the table. And the things I have seen with Todd in the past where he has been vulnerable is those guys that have them quick snap, quick reflexes where they're able to hit into a different position quicker than you're able to counter it to realize what that person is doing. Like if you look at the way when Prudnik pulled him, Prudnik wasn't so much power through him, but he was just snapping into a position where Todd would be angled like this, where he can't really engage his side pressure as opposed to if he's palm flat out, right? So he was driving Todd into angles and positions where Todd wasn't able to mobilize his power. And I fucking can't look at fucking Ongabayev and think in my mind that that man ain't going to be capable of doing the same kind of thing, right? So I'm kind of on the fence just with how Todd has been looking, how dominant he's been. I want to say Todd. I want to see Todd win just because it's awesome fucking seeing the West go in there and kick some ass. But at the same point, I look at Ongabayev and just seeing what he's capable. If you see that guy walking on the street, you wouldn't think for a second that this dude's one hell of a fucking arm wrestler. It looks just like a regular dude. But when you get him on the table, it's mind-blowing what his capabilities are, right? So I'm actually leaning, I'm saying 55 Ongabayev, 45 for Todd, just because of the way that Ongabayev could transition and throw Todd into possible shitty angles before he has a chance to be able to stop him from doing it, right?
Yeah, it's going to take a real technician that day. And you just said it, Ongabayev is that ninja technician that might be able to do it. But at the same time, is he going to have enough power to stop that side pressure? Because just like you said, we just seen him in Florida. I think he was practicing over there with Craig Sulerby and Artem Tararenko. And I mean, dude, he just looks insane strong right now.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you get into a horsepower session with him, like you look at when Brzezinski pulled him, like there was no bang snapping into a position. It was kind of just like a slow grunt pull, power pull. And you don't want to do that with Todd, right? Like he controlled Brzezinski. Unfucking believable. The way he was able to have fucking Brzezinski palm up and inside, like it was uncanny. You don't see that really ever, just because Brzezinski's ability to be able to pronate through somebody's hand with his thumb is absolutely insane. So the fact that Todd was still able to control him, it's like, how much fucking powerful is this dude getting, right? So, but we haven't seen that with one of them quick twitch fiber guys that also is known to actually have a lot of power. It doesn't look very powerful, but you know, look at his record, it speaks for itself, right? So, and
I remember gripping his hand, man, and that thing was just like you said, you don't expect it. And then you grab the hand and it is just steel, man. Those Kazakhstan guys don't play around, and he's like the master of them all. You know, he's the big teacher over there. So definitely really excited about that match. I can't wait to see that one go down.
I think Todd has kind of not completely, but in a way, he has changed his style. In last couple of years, he basically went from a guy trying to force people in a hook from a complete top roller. If you watch that match back in like slow motion or even normal speed, you see Todd top rolling John Brzezinski to the pad. Like that's how he finished those matches. It was a top roll. He calls it a Todd roll. Nobody would have expected a year or two ago that Todd Hutchings is going to top roll John Brzezinski. The biggest mistake that he was doing, that's why he lost his match against Zoloev at East versus West. One match you were there. He was like 3 times in a row. He tried to catch Zoloev in a hook. He was shooting forward for a hook, and he was just getting flash pinned by him. Now he's not going forward against anyone. He's like always going back, always going back. At least he's able to get a slip, and in the straps he's a completely different animal. So stylistically, I think it can be a difficult match for Ongarbayev, because when you're banging in a hook, you can maybe do a can opener from there. You can switch to a tricep press, but once that side pressuring is engaged, I don't think there are many opportunities to make any kind of adjustments from there, because we have seen guys in the past when Todd engages the side pressure, they try to move, but nothing other than their own body moves, like the arm just stays there.
Oh, I know. I felt
Matt, sorry. I want to ask Matt, what is the key to beating Todd, you know, with that extreme side pressure? Is it really just going more powerful with back pressure? Is that the key to beating him?
I don't really know the key to beating him because I personally haven't fucking beat the man myself. If I was able to beat him, I would be able to sit here and tell you all the fucking tricks, but I've never actually been able to put his arm to the pad. So honestly, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. When you figure it out, let me fucking know, because so,
he's unbelievable.
I would assume just by where you see Todd, where his power and everything is, Todd's power is all coming from right to left, coming straight at you. And if his palm is in the direction and the way that he's driving that power, he's got all the fucking power in the world. I think if you're somehow able to turn his palm upside down to where he's not able to drive so much with the side pressure, but now he's in an angle where he's doing like a chop. Like, have you ever seen Todd press in any way? I haven't seen him press. Todd can only side pressure. Somebody like Jerry, where they're like this, they can press straight down on top of the guy. You get Jerry more into this position, and it's a different angle for Jerry, right? Like, you're able to get more separated. Todd, I think, is kind of the opposite of Jerry. I think Todd, if he's in this position, he's able to drive that side pressure all day long. But as soon as he gets into here, now it's a different angle, and he really needs to start driving this way. So I think that's how you may be able to. I don't know. We'll see if Ungabayev can show us the way, right? So
yeah, that's it.
But I think it's more changing. I think it's more just changing the angle of his arm and where his power is coming from to prevent him from engaging that side pressure, right? Because he can side pressure like this, but as soon as you turn his hand this way, I don't see his side pressure being as much powerful this way as it is him coming this way, right?
That makes sense. It's just you got to get his hand supinated like that, which that could be the trick.
That's the problem, right? Because he's been working on so much of this that he's able to control that now, right? So
yeah.
Then the other match we got to ask you about, brother, is Devon versus Dennis. What's your thoughts? And I know you're gonna have a little favoritism.
My
Devon
fucking older brother is gonna fucking destroy Frankenstein. No, it's gonna be interesting. Like, fucking Dennis has a like a fucking hand, like a fucking
baseball,
literally
crazy.
It's like you can't even explain. Yeah, it's something fucking else, right? Like, you shake LeBron's hand is massive, but it's squishy, right? Like, it's like a fucking little squishmallow. You grab on a fucking Dennis's hand, and it's literally like it's fucking made out of marble, right? So, so it's like, and it's big everywhere, right? He's got the big fucking thick knuckles, everything on him. So the dude's got a fucking powerful fucking hand. His style of pulling looks like it's changed completely from before. He'd always be kind of palm up, pulling up like King's dude. Now he's kind of more turned upside down, working through formation and everything else into it. And he's got one hell of a fucking sticky spot. You don't really see his arm ever get much straighter than here from the amount of bicep action and everything else he's done to his body. So I think we could see a real long fucking match. The thing about Devon is Devon has gained so many fucking levels over the last couple of years. I don't care what anybody fucking says. The amount of levels that man has gained, even from when he pulled Michael Todd and came in the biggest we'd ever seen him and poofiest we'd ever seen, compared to now. Like, I think this version that Devon is walking around now, even though he's 40, 50 pounds lighter, would beat that 300-pound version of Devon that we seen pull Michael Todd when he crushed him. Just with how
253 Devon
together, the amount he's been able to heal. Like, the man's been broken walking around arm wrestling the fucking world for the last 10 fucking years and just doesn't fucking stop. Now Vitus Cell has come into his life and a few of our lives, and like this, like I'm fucking, like, I don't know if it's placebo or whatever the hell, but I can tell you first fucking hand, the shit fucking works. You know what I mean? Like, it's instant for me. And the amount of fucking trash that Devon has done to his body, and if that heals all that shit up with the amount of conditioning and everything else that the man's done over the last couple of years, you get all that put together, that's a bad motherfucker, right? Like, I don't think there's anybody on the planet that has arm wrestled even an eighth or a tenth as much as that man has spent on the fucking table. And if everything is working together and healed and all manufactured up from the stem cells, fixing everything again. Like, whew, you know what I mean? Like, there ain't
that's a
many
scary
people on
man.
the planet that's really going to fuck with him. And his ability, because you don't see Devon, like 2 years ago, Devon was out here hanging out there on the table. I was almost embarrassed to call him my fucking older brother, right? Because he's hanging out under the table, fucking looking at everybody's dress. But now he's actually pulling like he fucking used to arm wrestle back in the day, what made all of us fall in love with him in the first place. And he's standing up and he's looking down at his hand. He's going toe to toe, nose to nose with everybody that he's pulling. Like the old Devon is starting to come back in a stronger, bigger, more complex, smarter fucking version than we've ever seen before, right? So I think that all he needs to do is just work his angles, drive his elbow around, and pull fucking Dennis into a position where he's not able to kind of get that cup. And I don't think that Dennis is going to be able to hang on to Devon. I just really don't. So like a couple years, old version of Dennis, it would have been a completely different story. It would have been one fucking hell of a match with the version we got of Devon now. But I don't know if Dennis is where he used to be. So, and we haven't really seen, besides the odd practice poll, we haven't really seen him compete yet, right? So
yeah, we've only seen him against John Brzenk, and then we've seen him in the practice polls and all. So with that being said, would you have liked to see Dennis maybe had a couple matches before this Devon match?
Well, I still think Dennis is right at that top 5 level in the fucking world. So like I don't see too many people that would even want to accept a match with him that could even give him something right now, even though he's been out of it for so long. It's just a matter of how much more these guys are above each other, right? So because there's about 4 or 5 dudes in the world right now that are pretty much untouchable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there ain't many fucking people that are going to go on an arm wrestling match with them and do anything with them, you know? So
Dennis is looking dangerous in his recent training videos. He's looking bigger too.
Oh, 100%. And he's going to have to be, right? He needs to be more conditioned, because if he thinks he's going to be pulling the Devon that he pulled left arm 4.5, 5 fucking years ago, it's going to be a sad fucking day and a long trip back to fucking Russia for that boy, right?
Yep, I agree.
You look like 2 different worlds, bro. Devon of 2018 and now it's not even the same person. I wouldn't even recognize them. Totally different.
No, not even the same dude. Not even close, right?
But the other thing I wanted to ask you is, let's say that Devon and Dennis get a war, and let's just say that Devon wins to keep you happy right now. But would we still want to see Dennis go against Levon? Is that something that still would interest you if it's a war between him and Devon, but Dennis doesn't get the win?
I still think so. Yeah, especially a few more months conditioning once Dennis realizes limits again and gets back into, a comfortable position. I think it's a match we all want to see, especially even if Devon was to destroy him, I still think it's a match we want to see, especially with how sticky Dennis is in that one spot. You know what I mean? Like we know how powerful fucking Levon is, but for how long, that's a different story, right? And if you seen what Hermes was able to do, hold him up in that sticky spot for a little bit, and his fucking gas tank went down drastically. I heard Levon's starting to lose weight. He's getting healthier. He's working on his stamina, so something like that may not happen again. But if you get somebody like Dennis and is actually able to plant him and stop him from a couple surges, it might actually be a huge TSM turning point, right? So,
yeah. I don't know how true the statements from Dennis are when he's saying that he's only 85%. So in that case, if he's able to give Devon a war, even if he loses,
if he's
then
talking 85% of where he was 5 years ago before he started having his health issues, I fucking believe it. He might, looking at him, I think he's only 60% of where he used to be before he had all his health issues. Just by physically looking at the man, right?
Yeah.
He looks like he's 15 years older than he used to be 5 years ago. And he doesn't have the bulge, the fullness and everything else that he did in his muscles back then, right? Like everything looks almost kind of like it's hanging, it's drooping a little bit, right? So it's, yeah, like I believe 100%. I don't think he's at his 100%, and like he's maybe 50, 85, 80%. And if he'll ever like physically be able to get to that 100% to where he was before, I don't know if that even be humanly possible for him, right? Without risking some serious fucking health issues down the road, more so than what he may already have that we may not know about, right?
The other question, Pradeep, you might be able to answer this. Is he training legs and left arm right now? Because
No, that's what I covered in my videos as well. Dennis said that if he's like 130 to 132 kilos right now, that would be musculature wise, that would be equivalent to his 140 kg shape back then, because at that time he was training his legs and now he's completely stopped training his legs. And basically, just like Devon, he's training his right arm mostly. So he said that if he's able to get to that weight, 132 kilos, he's going to be almost the same Dennis that we saw back in the day. And one
Wow.
interesting thing, I scrolled down to the 2019 post on the PAL page when Dennis versus Levan was about to happen. It was announced, and after that, Dennis got sick. So at that time, Levan was already kind of a man, the man, because he was winning WAFs and Zlotys, destroying everyone, beat
Top
Vitali,
eight. Yeah.
Trobin, Tim Bresnan, destroyed everyone in 2018 PL. 2019, that match was announced, and I go to the comment section. Dude, everyone was saying that this is kind of a mismatch. Levan is going to get destroyed by Denis Plankov. So that was the common perception of the average fans back in 2019. They were saying that Levan is not on the level of Dennis, and it's totally changed right now.
I'm really, I hope that Dennis comes back and he really goes on a nice run, and we get to see him get close to that peak again, because I definitely would love to see that match regardless of the outcome between him and Devon.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I think
I think
it'd be great to have more people in there stirring up that super heavyweight class, right? Instead of them,
Oh yeah.
because what's going to happen is we're just going to end up seeing the 2, 3, 4, 5 matches over and over and over again, because who else is going to challenge them, right? So
Yeah.
Here's something else that might interest you, bro, is, Travis Bagent is seeming to make his comeback, and I'm actually starting to believe him this time. He's, he's sticking with it. He's putting on some weight and some size, and he's starting to throw events, and he's telling everybody, come, if you think you got something for me, come and beat me. And his next one is going down in Virginia, November 4th. And I know they got like a big overall prize winning. It's either going to be like a stem cell treatment or an East versus West trip or something. I know that they're about to announce it, but each one is getting bigger and bigger. And, maybe that's something you might want to pop in sometime, man. And, I'd love to see you versus Travis. I know Travis is just getting back, he's probably like 6 months in training and all. I know it's 2 different weight classes, but this is somebody that I think could eventually, make that drop and go into that 253 class that you're talking about. And would that be something that'd be interested to you, man? Right hand against Travis?
I'd love to pull Travis. I'd love to pull, like I said, I'd love to pull anybody. Travis, I think, would be more of a headache to pull than anything, just because of how he is at the table. I'd be so worked up, and he'd be just feeding into it, playing more games and more games and more games, right? So the antics that he pulls, it'd be frustrating as fucking hell. I'm sure be losing my mind. There'd be a lot more F-bombs floating around than there ever was when I pulled Trudnick. But yeah, obviously I'd love to fucking pull the guy. Whether it'll happen, I don't know. And for me to go chase around people like that, it's not for me. As long as I keep performing at a somewhat of a progressive rate that I feel, I've got a real busy schedule coming up over the next couple of years, and I don't really, unless it's for like training sessions where I trust the person and it's not about fucking beating the shit out of each other or trying to hurt each other. There's not really going to be much of me going to test myself against other people like that, just because I'm getting older. I'm starting to realize that I can't pull in super matches every fucking 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I don't know how fucking Hutchings is still able to do it at his age when he does do it. But I'm starting to realize, in order for me to be able to be successful for my next big bout, I need minimum at least 6 weeks, whether it's going to be 6 weeks to either try to recover just to get myself back to feeling 100%, or 2-3 weeks of pushing and then a little bit of a taper down again after another match. But I need at least a little minimum barrier of about 5 to 6 weeks, right? So But
Yeah.
and I got a
Okay.
pretty big plate coming up. So yeah.
I'll read some super chats now. KGB 120 with a $5 super chat, no message. Thanks, brother. $5 super sticker. Greg Brown TV, $2 super chat. Pradeep, it's going down, baby. Me versus you. One day, yeah. Hopefully. Richie with a
December
$10
9th,
super chat.
December 9th. We want to make it happen. I told you, Pradeep, I'll fly
Yeah.
you out, got your
I'm
hotel. Let's make that happen, bro.
working things out. Richie with a $10 super chat. Paul, if you had to guess, who do you think Jerry thinks would win, Devon or Dennis?
That's a good one, man. It matters. Well, now that I know that Jerry just called out Devon and they're going back and forth with each other, so I'm going to say Dennis, just because of the times and what's going on. Now, if you would have asked me a couple months ago before they started going at each other, I don't know. It could have gone either way.
Yeah, but Jerry always supports the North Americans in his predictions, no matter what. Kind of a
I
favorite one.
don't know with Devin though, bro. After those comments he said, and he said that he's not even worth promoter paying up the money, that he's just gonna smash him at Vitus. So I don't know. I got to talk to Jerry about that one.
Nikolai with
Wow.
a $2 super chat. Dennis is going to be 125 kilos to 76 pounds. That's what he's going to weigh for Devon. That's what Nikolai believes. X1348 with 3 super chats worth $2, so $6. Thank you very much, brother. If Dennis gets smoked, we are done with Arm Olymp. I call it the Babkan curse. Since
Yeah.
Babkan has like everyone is getting injured, everyone is having stomach problems.
I
Morozov,
know.
that Dadikian is breaking his arm. Morozov is having troubles with the left arm. Vovoda is having stomach issues. He's losing. I call it the Babkan curse. So
Bob
Bacho versus
concurs.
Engin is his next question. Bacho versus Engin and old versus young thoughts. I don't think they are on the same level, brother. First of all, the size is different, and I think Bacho is going to be way too much for Engin. What do you guys think?
Well, I want to talk about Engen's match against Davitt too. What's your guys' thoughts on that whole thing?
Oh, that's
Matt,
gonna be
yeah.
interesting.
And then the other thing is it still going on? Because I did see a post today with Engen. He might have hurt himself.
I
He
saw
was
that. I
training,
saw that.
and it sounds almost like he might have a concussion. So that's something that we got to follow up on. And
He
Pradeep,
did a
Armwrestling
podcast after
News.
that. So the 2 hour podcast with Levan, Hermes, and Prudnik was after that. So he was doing some kind of isometric movement on the pull-up bar with a
Yes,
belt in
sir.
his hands, and the belt broke, and he was basically flat on his back. He hit his head.
Oh,
And just letting you guys know that exercise, that's one of his secrets. And I would never have said that if I haven't seen it, him post that. But that was one of his go-to
Yeah.
moves. So guys, definitely check that one out. That's a good one.
Yeah. So Matt, your thoughts about Engin versus Bacho if that was to happen?
Are they pulling or not pulling?
No,
Are
no,
they?
no. That's just a random question from a super chat.
yeah.
Fuck. I don't know. If Engen is back to Engen's self, man, if they're anything within the same weight class of each other, then yeah, like I can't see Engen losing. Even though Bacho is very impressive on his last match. I don't think Adam would have been able to do anything with Engen if Engen was feeling on his top game. Like if you had watched any of Engen's older matches, like the dude is fucking dynamite, man. Like when they say go, like you want to see and know what a perfect top roll is, go watch all of Engen's old videos. And that is the most crisp, purest, most perfect top roll you can fucking think of. And he does that against everybody, like every single person. He doesn't hit on it's on gut. His crispness, the ability, like his elbow, he utilizes every inch of that pad. Like, so I think Bacho is very, very impressive. He looked absolutely insane when he pulled on him. In Worlds, he's doing really good, everything else. But like you can't put a price on fucking 40 years of kicking ass and taking fucking names when he's still just a puppy. You know what I mean? Especially if Engen comes in at any kind of half decent fucking form. Right?
He's a legend, bro. And his
Yeah.
pronation is just nuts. The one that I
It's
want to
nuts.
see Bacho
Yeah.
is Reno. Is Reno is next. That we
Reno
gotta
Mason.
see, man. Yeah, bro. Those two need to happen. They're both young guns, hungry as hell coming up. I know Reno's a little bigger than him, but still, I think Bacho could put on some size and could be a good match.
Yeah.
And another super chat was about Vovoda versus MMT. I think Michael kind of deserves that rematch. So Vovoda already had his match against John. Then maybe Travis match can also be exciting, and Michael Todd, because he just destroyed Michael when they faced in 2007. At that time, Michael didn't have his King's move, and Vovoda was much bigger and much stronger. So that could be exciting as well as of now.
Like
So
didn't Michael just have surgery on his elbow and everything, his right arm, get it all scraped and all the calcium and all that ripped out of her when he tore everything?
yeah,
I think it
yeah,
was
Yep.
like 6 months back. Yeah,
So does Michael even still have a King's move anymore?
that's
I
the
don't think
question.
so.
You
That's the
know,
question.
you know what I
We
mean?
haven't really seen him
Because
pull. Yeah.
Devon used to have a fucking pretty sick King's move with his left too, until he got everything scraped out of it. And then that King's move kind of went obsolete, right? So
Yeah.
like same thing with his rights has been scraped. Like his King's move ain't what it used to be. You know what I mean? He's noticed he's a lot tighter. He's a lot more standing up. So we don't even know if Michael Todd after his surgery even has a King's move anymore, right?
Right.
He might get like Devon and be able to get a lot better and be able to go into old
Yeah, he might
lanes that he
might
had.
have to start standing above
Get
the table
closer
and pull
to
an
his
old school
arm.
again, right?
Yeah.
So
And that's the question that I was asking myself when Michael seemed to be really happy that his range of motion is back. Earlier he was like got stuck here. Now he can get so close. And he was happy that he can arm wrestle in a more traditional way, so he's going to be stronger. But I was thinking that Michael was never a top 10 arm wrestler without a King's move. So I'm not sure if
well,
he's
he
able
was
to.
really back
Yeah.
in the day before he fucking broke his arm 3 times. He would be really, really good at getting in there and
Yeah.
staying
Yeah.
tight. And like the dude never fucking gave up. And he was very inspirational to watch just because his arm would be bent behind his fucking body and he would still be fucking driving in there. So it
I
was,
remember.
and then he developed this King's move and it just got uglier and uglier. And I'm just not a big fan of the King's move. Even when my brother was doing it, I'd still make fun of him all the time, right? So it's now that he may not have that option anymore. I think it might be fucking awesome to see a Michael Todd that actually standing up, banging, and there'll be a whole fucking range of people that will gain a lot more respect for him because of a new style of arm wrestling we may see emerge, right? So, and Michael is not somebody that's going to walk away from the sport. The amount of love the guy has for it, like the dude's arm's still broken, he's still trying to pin the motherfucker. Like he's not going to walk away just because he's lost his ace bread and butter. It may take him a year or 2 years before he figures out exactly where he needs to pull again, but he ain't going to be giving up, right? Like that's one thing. Michael's so fucking determined and stubborn that he will not stop. Even if he loses his King's move, he's just going to try that much harder to try to master and figure out a better angle where he can pull at, right? So
I agree with that completely. And I think it's time finally for this goddamn rematch with him and Jerry. I think they should finally do it. It's a good time because I don't think Jerry and Devon is a good one yet. I'd like to see Jerry with a couple matches before that. Get back
so
to
you want him to
training.
pull Michael Todd first?
Yeah,
that'd be
I think
good.
that would be a good one
Good.
because Michael
You want
Todd
to see Jerry
is
win a
coming
couple
back.
times? But I don't think Michael Todd would be able to do anything with Jerry right now because Jerry's still in a condition, kind of, a pull-in state, ready to go. Michael Todd, we don't really know where Michael Todd is at because of coming off of an injury like that. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not your first match back, you're waiting where you left off. There's a process, a little bit of a gradual climb to get back to where you're feeling comfortable, even just building the confidence in yourself again to be able to stand up and get behind your arm after going through what he's went through, right? So
Yeah, I agree with that, but I just know I need to get Jerry a couple of wins, so I want him to go against Michael right now.
he just see easy pickings.
That'd be a good match. I'd like to see that. Yeah.
I'm just trying not to, I don't, he called out Devon the other day and I just was like in shock when he did it. I'm like, no, please. No, let's not do that yet, man. Let's get a couple matches back and just get in the hang of things before, because I don't think he's ready yet. I think I'd like to see a couple matches. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Pradeep, what's your thoughts on that?
Paul, I think that everyone respects the guy most, whoever just goes there and competes, accept all the challenges, never declines any match. That type of guy is always going to be respected. But when there is more money moving forward in the sport of arm wrestling, I think protecting your brand, kind of picking easy matches, I think that's going to be a thing in the future, maybe just a couple of years from now. And it has to be that way. I don't really mind when people say that Bacho isn't willing to take difficult matches. He wants the schoolboy match for hype. Or when people say that schoolboy doesn't put out videos when he's getting beat by people. So I was like, he has a huge YouTube channel to run. He has a reputation on that channel. If that's kind of a livelihood. So why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he protect his brand? So I don't see too much problem with that. And just after making a comeback, like for example the Young Jersey match, straight up going against the 85 kilo champion, I don't think that may be a really wise decision to make, especially when you, I think Engin may, yeah, he lost his last match against at East versus West, although he did beat Kojiri after that. But I think he should have taken an easier match. So I totally agree with Jerry taking easy matches and getting those wins.
And
You know,
not even easy matches, but just the progress of getting
Yeah.
back to the top. Like if you go for a
Yeah.
world title match and you lose your match, I think I should have beat him. I just fucked up in my setup and I had a cold or I had this. The next time you go to compete, you shouldn't be getting a world title match or going against a second contender. I feel that a person, if you lose your fucking world title match, I think you should automatically be dropped to at least somewhere in that 5th to 7th range. And then you get at least 2 more matches before you're able to be a contender again, right? Like I think work your way back up. You know what I mean? Like it's ladder system, right? You climb, you miss a run, you kind of start back here. If you miss that run there, you go another 4 or 5 steps down till you find out where a guy's comfortable at in that ladder run, right? So, but
yeah, and I think it's just like you said, the progression, man, and training and all. You have a full-time job, and Devon is full-time job is arm wrestling, and now you got to catch Devon, who's doing this full-time, and it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? It's like you're doing arm wrestling part-time, Devon's full-time, and I feel like he's ahead of you right now. How is that gonna work out? It's just, so that's just my personal thoughts on that.
that's why I go fucking psycho.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think if you think about it in arm wrestling math, if Jerry beats Devon, then he automatically beats Hermes, so he doesn't have to go against Hermes again, right? So that favors Jerry because then he beat Devon and then Devon beat Hermes. So in Jerry's head, he doesn't even have to go against Hermes anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think that.
Yes,
I think the
I
fans wouldn't
personally
let
don't
that
think
happen.
after the way Hermes went through him, I don't think he deserves a shot at Devon right now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
No, yeah, I know.
I just
Yeah.
personally, I don't think so. Like I think he needs to kind of get 1 or 2 wins at, say someone that's ranked 5th, then take out someone who's ranked 3rd, and then maybe you can get that shot.
So
Again,
let's
right?
iron this out right now. Let's figure out the
Just
plan.
because he feels that he can beat Devon and he feels he deserves a shot, that doesn't mean that's fucking right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Matt, so who's the guy
You're right.
next for Jerry? Who would be like that number 5, 6 guy that you would like to see him go against right now? Is that like a rematch
say
with
Artem
Gennady or
Morozov.
Jordan? Artem.
I say-
Morozov. Ooh,
I say,
okay.
I
I
like
say,
that.
if you think you can fucking beat Devon and you can beat Hermes and you need a shot at Levon,
You gotta
see
be
how you do
Morozov.
against Artem, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Pradeep, where's Morozov right now? Rank wise.
I don't exactly know about the rankings, but I think a couple of weeks ago he was interviewed by Engin and he said that he has now slowly started lifting small weights. He's still kind of skinny, so not that 135 kilo version, maybe somewhere around 122, 123, something like that. So he's still not in that kind of shape. He just started lifting light weights, recovering.
So that might be a good one because we got Jerry coming off pneumonia and he hasn't started training since then, and he looked like he lost like 20, 30 pounds. So that might be a good place for both of them.
You know what?
and
Sometimes
both of them, it's not like they suffered something that a vital body organ or something else is shut down. Like their muscle memory and muscle recovery within 3-4 months, they can pretty much be right back to where they felt, 4 or 5 months ago, right? So it's not like it's going to take them forever to get back to where they were. I would say that'd be a match I'd want to see. Period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah. And sometimes I think it's about the money matches more because John versus Dennis was a money match. Dennis versus Devon is a big money match, but I think it's kind of a too big leap for Dennis going straight from John to now Devon led. I would have loved to see Dennis versus Jerry in a super match before he faced Devon. I don't think they have much of a history together. There was just one Zloty tournament poll between Jerry and Dennis, where Dennis basically grabbed him by his wrist and Dad moved him like in like a second. So that's the entire history between Jerry and Dennis. I would have loved to see that match as well.
That would have been a good one too. I agree with that, and I definitely agreed.
Or
Same thing.
or try pulling Vitaly Lalatin or Dave Chafee, right?
That I
Like
actually want to see
let's
Vitaly versus
Dave
Devon.
Chafee / fucking Jerry
Oh,
Carteret matches.
I think
Right?
that's the last match Devon wants.
Bro, I want to
stylistically,
see
anyway.
Matt Vitaly versus Devon. What do you think of that one, bro? Because that's your training partner right there. Is that height going to be a problem?
Oh, absolutely, it's going to be a problem for him. Height's going to be a problem for anybody, especially somebody like Vitaly that knows how to use his arm, right? So the way he sits back and just drives that shit up, like it's for anybody, it's hard to hang on to, right? So,
and the reason why I say that is because I feel like that's what Devon does to everybody else. He's driving up into their hand, and that's what everybody's always complaining they can't.
Well, he's always able to get that height, right? But
yeah,
you got somebody that can match that height.
That's why I want to see that match so bad, man. How do you think that ends? You think Devon's just got the skills that he could take that on?
I don't know. I think Devon's got the skills, in my eyes, personally, to take on anybody in the world right now. But it's, I still got to see a little bit more from Vitaly too, see where he's at. I still wouldn't mind seeing Devon pull a couple more people, right? Like he ended up doing phenomenal against Hermes. Had he had pulled him in a slightly different angle, I think it could have been fucking different, right? Like I just think he completely out-angled Hermes in the way that he needed to pull Hermes to completely fucking attack and immobilize his ability to be able to get what he wanted, right? So I don't know, it's hard to say. So, but like you can put Devon up against anybody. It's going to be an exciting match.
Yeah, he just makes it. He is arm wrestling, man. So he just makes anything exciting. But Pradeep, I don't know if you want to do it. I got 5 questions for us. If you want to do arm wrestling trivia this week, we could do that.
Yeah, I'm free. First of all, I got a trivia question for you guys. Let's see who is able to answer first. Whoever knows first. What is John Brzezink's next match after that East versus West match that he's going to have against Sasho? What is his next match after that?
Oh, I don't know.
I think Matt is frozen. So the
I'm not
match
sure.
is against
Has it been announced?
the match. Yeah, the match is against Krasimir Kostadinov, and I wanted to ask Matt's
the
opinion about that.
rematch.
Yeah,
That's
East
the
versus West
rematch.
11. It's going to happen.
Oh, that's going to be a good one. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one. Did we lose Matt?
Yeah, we lost Matt. So I think that's going to be exciting because John got his revenge against Vovoda, and now he wants. I'm guessing he wants his revenge against Krasimir as well. I remember suggesting this match to Engin 1.5 years ago. I was requesting Engin, please make this match happen, and Engin was like, "Yeah, it can happen, but as of now, there are more important matches than that." And Krasi beat John more than a decade ago, so that must have been a strong John. So it will be exciting. I think this match is not as one-sided as people might think it is going to be.
Who do they think it's going to win? They think John's going to be
John,
the
yeah, for
favorite by
sure,
far?
John. For sure, John.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you went and seen the past match and all that, Krasimir pretty much dominated, but it was a different Krasimir back then.
Yeah, but after that, around that time or even after that, Krasimir was beating Levan in WAF, so that was a different Krasi.
What do you think changed so much with Krasi?
Sure.
Because I was always wondering that he was so dominant back then and all. Was it age played a factor? Was there something else? Was he bigger back then, weight wise?
No, I
He
don't think he has
looked
ever been bigger than 102 kilos. I don't
So
think he's ever.
what changed so much that went from being so dominant, being the GOAT and Levon and and then having more problems with guys that you would think that he would go right through with with those wins under his belt.
I don't know, man. When I interviewed Krasi and whenever I go to any post in which Krasi is mentioned, there are some people always in the comment section saying that Krasi you stopped juicing a few years ago. That's why he's not as strong as he was. But Krasi claims to always have been a natural athlete.
Yeah, I believe him too, bro. I know him personally, and I hung out with him, and I really did not have that impression that he's ever juiced or anything like that. So I definitely believe him in that
Yeah.
for sure.
So Matt, John's next match after Sasho at East versus West 11, probably in January next year, is against Krasi. What do you think about that match?
Who
Krasimir Kostadinov,
is pulling who?
John Brezink.
Oh, I think that's going to be a bad day for Krasi myself. So personally, just John's ability to build, to pronate, take, and control somebody's hand. Like when I had pulled Krasi has retarded inside pressure, but his hand, he doesn't have anything extraordinary that really stands out or that feels intimidating or anything much about his hand. As for John, you grab onto John, his fucking thumb feels like a turkey drumstick, right? So
Yeah, that thing is huge. Matt, you have I heard your hand is crazy big too, and also have you actually measured your thumb against John's?
no, I never have. I would say John's is definitely a lot fatter than mine though. So
Well, it's not even it's the length of it. It's when I was out with him and Travis, the first thing he did was like, bro, you gotta see this. And I'm like, bro, why are you bothering John? He's eating right now. He's like, I'm telling you, bro, look at his thumb. And Travis put his thumb up, Travis being 6'4" and all, and John's thumb was literally double the length and just ridiculous, bro. It was like holy shit. It definitely made you think that it's something with the thumb that he making him so dominant and all. So that's why I was
oh,
asking if you
100%. 100%. Just his ability. Like when I had pulled him at Mike Dual Classic and then ended up pulling him or gripping up with him like 2.5 months later at the WL event, it was completely fucking different. It was like grabbing onto a fucking chicken wing and then grabbing onto a turkey leg, right? Within like a 2.5 month span. And I grabbed onto his hand in WL. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he just kind of giggled. It's gotten bigger, hasn't it? Right? Like it was just literally doubled in fucking size, right? So and when your thumb's that big and you're trying to wrap your hand, like usually I can get around somebody's hand pretty good, but it was still, I wasn't even able to make contact with that bone on the back of his hand. It was barely coming around his thumb just because it was so much girth to it, right? So,
Matt, I got one quick question for you is if I had to ask you one hand exercise to get the size of your hand bigger and all, what would that be?
a bucket of rice.
Yeah, okay. I already knew that answer. I have the bucket of rice right next to my couch because of you already, bro. So I've already been doing all those exercises.
Yeah, I would say if you're working just for hand size and thickness, I would say that bucket of rice. And that's something you can do every single fucking day, 2-3 times a day, right? Your hands are something that are designed as a tool for your fucking body where you can beat the shit out of it every day. You see guys working sheet metal and shit where all day they're just working their fucking hands, and your hands' ability to recover is absolutely insane. Like if you get on a rigorous hand exercise routine, you can hit that shit every day at grippers. Throw them in the garbage. Throw them in the fucking trash. So
I'm just the only I know they're not made for the. Oh, I'm not saying I'm just trying to build my hand size, So I'm trying to do anything
yeah,
that's
if
gonna
you're
make it
gonna
bigger.
turn the things around, right? Like
Yeah, upside down, right?
yeah, if you're gonna do it, turn them like this, and then you can work your thumb like that, and you'll build this shit up, right? But as soon as you're like this and you start squeezing, what's the first thing your wrist is doing? Is going in a negative position, right?
Bending back.
So
Yep.
you're creating a habit where every time you go to put finger pressure, your wrist wants to go in a negative position. That's why I say grippers are fucking garbage. If you're gonna work them in a position like this, because you want to be able to have a tight grip where your wrist is bent, right? As soon as you go to squeeze or apply finger pressure and your wrist wants to go in a negative position, you're cock blocking yourself. As soon as you apply that pressure, your wrist automatically wants to go back, right? You're creating bad habits. So, but I would say if you're just going for the thickness, just something like this, light, cheapest ones you can get, the adjustable ones with the bubble, and just go all the way down to small to nothing and just fucking work that thumb. Do everything with a positive wrist position, right? So
the other thing that Luke Kent showed me was I hold a racquetball everywhere I go. So if I'm in my car and I'm just squeezing the thumb part, then I'm squeezing the pinky side, and it's kind of like a hand. So it's got a little grip you get on it and all. So I've been doing that a lot as well.
The thing that I like about the rice bucket is if you work it like just aggressive, fucking as hard as you can, down motion, you fucking pronate. I'm motioning you supinate and you work the shit out of that bucket, you're going to get a pump literally from halfway down your forearm all the way to your fingertips, right? Like you're going to gain girth on the back of your hand, on the side of your hand, and your thumb and your fingers, everywhere. You're going to gain it if you're doing it properly, right? So
Got it. Thank you for that, man. I really appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, Paul,
And
let me read a couple of super chats and then you can start the Q&A. X1348 with $2. Jerry needs to get back in the field and show wins. Thank you, brother. We discussed that. And X1348 once again with a $5 super chat. Pradeep, what is the possibility you can attend East versus West 10? Would be awesome to see your presence at the event and the integration with Engin if possible. This event, I don't think it's possible. I always run into those visa issues because I need to apply for leave in like a couple of months in advance to get that visa approval. So that's kind of a difficult thing for me. So maybe not this time, next year. Hopefully, I'll try that. And Paul, just to keep it short, the Q&As this time, like whoever answers first
got it.
is the winner instead of waiting for everyone that is going to drag it
We're going to
out
go real
way too
quick because
long.
we only got 4 of them too.
Yeah.
So we're good. All right. So first one is, what Arm Wrestling Buzz episode has the most views?
Oh my God.
What Arm Wrestling Buzz episode has the most views?
That's a difficult question.
It's got to
Did
be
you
one
ever
with Devon.
Yeah,
It's episode 2. It's with
Episode
6K. And I got to look who
Okay.
that was. I believe that was, I don't even want to say. I got to check again. I forgot that. I should have wrote that down.
because we don't have a separate episode with Devon, right? In one episode, Devon kind of jumped in between, but there's no.
Yeah.
He jumped on twice on 2 of our
Twice, yeah.
episodes, but it was never scheduled beforehand. Number 2, what is the longest Arm Wrestling Buzz episode? It is
One with Nanya.
it's that was close. That was actually the second one. That's what made me think of that one. It was actually episode
Okay.
6, went on for 2 hours and 21 minutes, and the one with Nanya was 2 hours. It was exactly 2 hours. What is Dan Mosier's nickname? Dan Mosier's nickname.
Iron Man.
Yes, way to go, Israel. And then the last one we got, what state is Richard Lupkus from? What state is Richard Lupkus from?
I
Minnesota.
have no idea.
Minnesota, guys.
Minnesota.
And that is the end of the Arm Wrestling Buzz. I want to thank Matt for coming on today, bro. It's always a pleasure. You always got an invite on here. And I just want to shout out a quick couple of sponsors. First off, Vitus Cell, thank you for everything you're doing for the arm wrestling community. Don't forget, January 5th through the 7th, we got Vitus Cell Illuminati 2.0 coming up. Also, we got October 21st, we got the FAL event going down in Florida, Bike Fest. And then also on that same day, October 21st, we have the 190-pound round robin Battle of the Ridge 2 set by LeRae Jenkins. So get over there, make sure to watch that on YouTube and all, and get behind them and support. And yeah, that's pretty much everything from me, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you again,
Before we
everybody.
had one final, just quick comments from Matt. Matt, your prediction about your match against Frank Lamparelli from Italy.
I don't have any predictions on myself. All I can say is I'm going to be coming in firing on all fucking cylinders, and I'm hoping to turn that big fucking smile on his face upside down. And I don't think he's going to be very happy on his way home to Italy. So
Yeah, he was kind of advising Matt to smile more, to be less angry, and Matt is trying to take his smile away. So it's kind of working the opposite way.
yeah, so
Well, that's going
I
to be
don't
a good
know.
match.
We'll see how it goes. Honestly, I don't really know a whole lot about him besides that apparently he's a bad dude, an Italian legend. Looks like he has a hand and a wrist like iron. And it looks like he's also got a lot of side pressure to back it up too. So it's, like looking at that match he had with Georgie, like it looked to me like his fucking hand was almost twice the size of Georgie's. Like, I don't know, maybe Jerry might know a little more how big George's hand was, if it was intimidating at all in any way. But like, to me, it looked like Frankie's hand was twice the size of fucking Georgie's. So, and you look at Frankie, it's like, oh, he doesn't look like that bad of a dude. Apparently the dude's 6'3", 6'4", right? So he's not really a small fucking dude. He usually walks around at 260, 270. So it's, so I'm not really sure what to expect. I'm I'm feeling more comfortable with the top rollers lately than I am with the hookers, especially them European hookers where they got that quick snap in. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But so
Yeah, best of luck, brother, for the match. And I think you have a shot of winning that match. Stylistically, it may suit well for you, as you just mentioned. You're feeling good against the top rollers. So thanks for joining, brother.
Good luck, Matt.
Yeah, good
all
luck,
right,
man.
we'll
Have
see
a
you.
good one.
All right, guys.
Take
Thanks.